a lot is going on in the world, and if you follow current affairs, you realize that every now and then something shows up, something comes up to maybe to take up our attention or for us to reflect on. But one thing we want to assure you is that we are always here for you. Why? To give you the right mindset as a young person, because this is a campaign where we want to transform Africa, but this cannot be done by Young and Flourishing without you. So it is a joint effort. It's the reason we have the Flourishing Hub this Monday evening. I believe God has kept you well, and we have a reason to thank Him. He has taken us through to this second last week of January. I know Derek is so excited that January will soon be no more. But one thing I also want to remind you is that this program is brought to you by Young and Flourishing Foundation, which gave birth to Young and Flourishing Network. And this network is built on 4 pillars that you need to know. One of these pillars is money. Of course, we all need money. We work hard to get this money, but money that is not guided will not benefit you. You will soon lose it. So what does Young and Flourishing do? They teach you how to work for this money. They teach you how to save it. And after saving it, they also open up your mind to investment. And when you invest this money, it will yield. The second pillar is daring in life. Of course, they help you to identify different opportunities and exploit them. And these opportunities that you start will then become world-class businesses, because we never despise humble beginnings. That business you're doing will later become a world-class business if you do not give up. And then the third pillar is mentorship. We all need mentors. We need people who speak in our lives, people who have tried what we want to try, people who have done what we've done, people who have walked, knocked themselves, fallen down, and risen again. So those are the people we need to speak in our lives. So it is it's a very important pillar in Young and Flourishing. Now, if you do not have a mentor, you need one. That is why you need to be part of this network, the Young and Flourishing Network, because there is a lot that you will need to, the result that you will get as a young person. And the last pillar is strategy. And this comes to planning. Yes, we are in the second last week of the first month of this year, and as a young person, we believe that you have a year's plan, or you had a plan for this month. But a Young and Flourishing also helps you plan well, and when you plan well, they'll also help you live your plans, so that at the end of the month, or at the end of the year, at the end of a certain period of time, you can now get your pen and start clearing. I've achieved this, I've not been able to fulfill this, like that. So that is why you need to be part of the Young and Flourishing Network. Edwin Austin Mukalazi is my name, and this evening we are discussing building sustainable business. Isn't that so interesting? I believe this is going to be an inspirational, a motivational, but also an eye-opening show. Don't go anywhere. We are here up to 10 p.m. and we are joined in with one of our own, the CEO of Young and Flourishing Foundation. He's actually the brain behind all this, behind this program, but behind this motivation. He's so passionate about inspiring young people. That is why he is even here this evening to share with us. Herbert, I must say Happy New Year. It has been a while when we last met.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Happy New Year, and I enjoyed Christmas.
Wow. Yeah. That is so
I'm happy to be back here.
We are also grateful that you here with us, and kindly greet our viewers, and then we shall go into today's topic.
Good evening, viewers and our followers. We are glad to always that you tune in at Church of Uganda Family TV, Flourishing Hub every Monday at 9 p.m. And I'm also glad that God has sustained you into this month of January, where it has over 72 days. But don't worry, it's about to end.
I remember last year you told me not to even speak ill about this month because this is your birth month.
Yes, I celebrated my birth in the hills of Kabale on 6th January. Okay. And I have been on holiday because we rarely get to leave. You know, when you have private business, you rarely get to leave. So sure. I've just come back to Kampala to make more money.
So that is why I was actually so careful with my words when I was talking about January, because I didn't want to cause chaos in the room.
Because I warned you.
Yeah, you warned me in advance.
Yeah.
So how about this evening, we are discussing something that is in line with the second pillar of Young and Flourishing Foundation, which is daring. And under daring, we look at identifying and exploiting opportunities that will later become world-class businesses. And today we are looking at building a sustainable business. So, as you, businessman, business proprietor, and someone who is so passionate about business, what is your understanding about the word business?
Business, I think in 2006, me and my colleagues, we went to Nigeria, Nigeria 1. You know, there is Nigeria 1 and Nigeria 2, and we identified the need for a clinic. And I'm not a doctor, but we partnered with a doctor and put up a clinic. And in the first month of our commissioning, we made a lot of money. And you know, a business start and you make that money in the first month. It's quite an interesting business. So when you identify a need in a certain community and you come up to give a solution, you identify a problem and you come up to give a solution. And in so doing, you get money. You'll be paid for that solution. I think that's the business. Okay. That's how I can define business as in layman's language, as Herbert. I can define business is like you identify a need and you come out to solve it, to give either a service or a good. You say you produce a product, a commodity that will satisfy that need. Or you offer a service to satisfy that need. That's the business, and in the end, you'll be paid for that business. Because
that was my next question. When I look at what the example you started with of a clinic, and you said you made, I would call them abnormal profits in the first month. And so when I identify a need, I offer a service or a good that can satisfy the need, and in turn, I'm not paid.
In turn, you are not paid?
Yes.
That's a non-profit business. That's the charity.
So it is still business, but non-profitable business.
Yeah, non-profitable business. But I think business, even non-profitable business, you are solving a need, and you are paid because the workers are paid. The employees are paid. To me, I think even when you are an employee, you are doing a business. The only difference is that you are serving one customer, your employer. That's what we should take it as employees, that you are serving one client who is your employer. So it's also a business.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, we have a very big problem, especially in Uganda, that very many people are anxious, excited when you talk about business, and very many people have started businesses. So when you move around the city or even out of the city, you realize that very many people have opened up businesses each time you see a new business coming up. But before it's long, you'll find a poster selling shop sold on goodwill. Call this number. Or some people just close down and go. They carry the stuff back home. You know, businesses don't live to celebrate even the first birthday. And this is still a very big problem in Uganda, that yes, we've encouraged people to invest. People are investing, people are doing business, but what is the problem that is not arrested, that is making these businesses not celebrate at least their first birthday? If a business celebrates its first birthday, it might not live to see the second or third.
And by the way, you have asked me that question, and also I'm a culprit. I've killed many businesses. I have many tombs of businesses. Did you know that I made is it that video, that local video is called what, Chibanda? I made a Chibanda, and up to now it's not there, so it closed. I even made a butcher. I was a butcher. I was selling meat, and it also closed. And plus many other businesses, even that clinic, it changed ownership for reasons that I'm not going to mention here. But like me and many other Ugandans, we start businesses and they die because of different factors, internal and external factors. But to me, I think resilience matters in business. To build a sustainable business, you need that resilience. And there are very many reasons why businesses don't last for long. One, I can say it's all about leadership, visionary leadership. You see, when you start a business and it's all about you. It's all about you. If you are not there, systems can't work. If you are not there, banks cannot be, many checks can't be signed, and what you have not built the system. You just want to be you in the business, then that business will not last for long. So it's the first thing is about leadership. To me, I would ask myself, not being political, why that vibrant political party that gave us independence, that's UPC, why it's no more? It's there, but it's as good as no more.
Exactly.
It's because it's dependent on one person. If your company, if Young and Flourishing is depending on me alone, then that's not business. I mean, that it will not be sustainable. So a visionary leader trains and prepares for succession. You have to train and prepare people to succeed you. Actually, a very visionary leader is supposed to train people who are smart like 10 times than him. I don't think I should employ someone whom I'm more knowledgeable than him. That person should be more knowledgeable than me. That's why all my people who work with me and also who pass through my hands, I make sure that I train them. I'm not selfish. I want to train as much as possible so that when I'm not there, the organization continues. Yeah. So leadership is very, very, very important. For example, our friend, the late Murwana, you see he trained his children to take over, and I am happy to see that the companies he started are even now flourishing when he's more gone. So I think as Ugandans, as entrepreneurs, when you start, you just plan for succession. And most people fear death, but anytime death will strike, when you are living, you are a candidate to die.
You don't need to invite it.
Yeah, you are a candidate to death. So as soon as you start, you should actually start planning on who is going to succeed me in my business. So leadership is very, very important. And also, if you plan, it's so selfish. Because to me, when I start iconic projects or Ridgeline or Young and Flourishing, I'm not thinking about myself. I'm thinking about the many people who are feeding through this company. These many people have dependents, have families. Now, if the business closes, it means you have affected very many families. You have even affected the government that earns through you, through your sweat, through taxes. So, to me, when you start a business, it should actually, your strategic plan should be beyond 100 years. It should be beyond yourself. So, to me, a sustainable business is having the founders beyond. It should be beyond the founders to unforeseeable generations. So as the leader, as the proprietor, think about that. Think about 100 years, 200 years. How will this Young and Flourishing? How will Ridgeline be operating? That's, to me, what sustainable business is.
I've moved in very many markets. We have a segment in the morning show called City Call. So it has given me an opportunity to go to very many markets and talk to very many ladies. So sometimes you ask someone, how long have you been here? I've been here for over 28 years, or I've been here for over 12 years or 15 years. And when you ask them, does your child know this business? Can you trust them? When you're away, maybe you've lost someone, you've gone to attend a burial, and you leave your child in business. Will you be safe that you will find everything okay? No. So this person is in this business. They have done it for long, but they do not have someone who will come after them. To them, should we call this a sustainable business? Because they've sustained it for years. They're doing it for years. They've gone through all the storms. But then I look at a situation like you talked about the death. When death strikes in, should we still call this a sustainable business?
A sustainable business, to me, actually, the way I can define it, it should be over 50 years to 100 years and above. That's a sustainable business. And that person, I don't think, can manage a business for 50 years if they have not planned succession very well. Not even my children. I can empower my employees to take over from me. I don't need to be selfish that it's my family that should. If my family members are not interested in the business, there are people who are interested. Those who are working for me, I can train them and so they can take over after me. As to me, I think I need to be. It needs to be beyond me. It needs to be. I'm serving the community. I'm serving Uganda. I'm serving the families that, like I told you, I'm serving the families that are benefiting from this service or a good product.
That even when you are away in Kabale enjoying your birthday and holiday, the business is still running smoothly.
Yeah,
you don't need to be on ground and check what is not right.
Yeah, because you have put systems in place, you have trained people, and they have trusted you, you have made it like a family. The problem with organizations, when a boss comes in, everyone tries to hide or to shake a bit. That's being a leader. No, actually, like at our organization, we make jokes. Like now, as no fans have been making jokes on me about being beaten. So it is okay. Make sure that it's a family. You don't have to show that power, that superiority that you are a leader. I don't think it's a good thing to do. So to me, as an employee should be that internal client, should be the first client that you need to entice and bond with for the business to be sustainable.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you talked about just one, that was visionary leadership.
Yeah.
Now we look at the other factors that have failed very many business proprietors.
Yeah, there is also what we call an ideology. You know, many organizations, they put what we call core values, and we just list them for formality or what. But to me, there is that tradition, that culture that you can create in an organization, and that culture is breathed by everyone, including even your clients or stakeholders. That culture will make your business sustainable. For example, there are people who overcharge because they think because of customer ignorance, they want to overcharge others. But when you are found out that you are overcharging, what happens? So, like values, what are those values? Do you treat customers very well? Do you treat your internal customers, those are employees, very well? So if you don't have that core value, you can even change the line of business. You can diversify. For example, Samsung actually, do you know that it started selling fish in South Korea in 1939? But now Samsung has very many businesses. Insurance, it is manufacturing, it is in pharmaceutical, you know, those digital communication and what. I started by selling fish. What is different from what is Samsung doing that we are not doing? Because of their values, their core principles that they cannot change. Business can change, but that thing, that tradition, that you think you have to produce high quality product, you have to produce high standard service, that thing shouldn't change in any line of your business. So ideology, core values, our president normally talks about ideology. Our core values should never change. So
you've actually reminded me when I was still in secondary, I used to have my holidays at my auntie's place. So she has a shop, a retail shop. Now, while in that retail shop, we used to have conversations with her children that one thing we like about Indians, that you'll never find Indians send you away because of change. Even if you come with a 50,000 note and you want something for 1,000, they'll still sell it to you. And they'll give you change. Unlike in Uganda, unlike Ugandans, where you go with a 50,000 note, you want something for 3,000, they don't give you change. They'll say, we don't have change. They don't even burden themselves to look for change. So I think after having that conversations, 5 minutes later, someone comes with a 20,000 note, and I think they wanted something for 500 shillings. So we started looking at each other and said, we don't have this change. And then she said, have you forgotten about the Indians you've just talked about?
yeah.
So but I literally think she was trying to build in us an ideology that every coin counts.
And by the way, you cannot say I have 1 million less than 50 shillings.
Sure.
It can't be 1 million. It will be 900 something.
Sure.
So I think respecting money and knowing that every money counts is very, very important for any business. So just having that core value, having that tradition is very important in the business. Then another factor is perseverance. You'll see, like now, including our companies, we are going through economic recession, and even URA is hitting on our doors. So what do you do that make sure that you persevere and you survive? We are not patient as Africans. When you start a business, you think that you want to make money tomorrow. You start a business today, you want to make money tomorrow. You don't want it to pass through the process, a process of growth. Growth is a process. And to me, when you start a business, don't expect payment. The following day, you might ask me that I started the clinic, and within 1 month I got. That was a chance. But if you want a sustainable business, like I mentioned about Samsung that started in 1938 and still operating right now, it's because they were patient. They persevered. They passed through economic recession. They passed through. They close some line of business. They start another line of business, but they persevere. There's what we call patient money. You have to be patient to get paid, to get that money you want. Unfortunately, when for us we start business and you hear someone is selling carrots, for you were selling maize, say carrots has a lot of money, you go into carrots. You know, we like copying and pasting. So to me, I think if you are so passionate and you are focused on one business, on that one thing, then you continue and see that it works rather than running here and there. I have over time realized that there's nothing that beats consistency. If you put all your efforts on one thing and you are believe in that thing, even if you pass through valleys, you know that I will come out of this. I will go to the top, must stop. So perseverance is very, very important in building sustainable business.
So I also think that sometimes this perseverance is broken down by people who tell us, who encourage us to start businesses. Why? Someone will tell you that you need a side business because you cannot survive on only your salary. But they don't tell you what you're going to go through to sustain this side business. And I think literally when you try this and you realize it is not bringing in the returns you expected, you switch to another one thinking that maybe this one would do better. And then you find someone in 4 months has tried almost 6 businesses, but all failing. So I think that is the mindset we want to improve now. Like you've said, that don't expect returns tomorrow. When you build today, it is a process. And you need to tell us about this process so that someone can know it, that as I go into the business world, I should not expect a soft landing.
And by the way, just imagine, I'm a father of 3 children. Imagine my wife gets pregnant, she carries all the 9 months.
When your mother gave birth to you, you had to go through all the other processes as a young child. So it was step by step, process by process. You didn't just run the next day. You didn't run at 2 months. You didn't go to school at 1 year. You didn't graduate at 7 years. So it was all a process. That is what our guest, who is Herbert Sabiiti, had started with, because we are looking at what fails very many businesses. Yes, we want to credit Ugandans for their creativity. Ugandans are really creative. You look through, you try this, you try this. You want to satisfy the needs of the community, but sometimes we satisfy the needs for a short period of time and we give up on our services. What brings that is what we are discussing because we want to build a sustainable business. And how do you build a sustainable business? Herbert, we are back, and we had started with that short, should I call it ideology, that when a woman gives birth to a child
and the child runs out,
everyone disappears. They actually say this woman has given birth to a ghost.
Yeah, exactly. So in Maxwell's the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership indicates that leaders do not grow into leaders in a day, but they grow into leaders daily. In other words, it takes a process for you to grow from a small restaurant in Nansana into a bigger outcompeting Cafe Javas. It's process by process. And by the way, that child, every stage they take, you celebrate it. And because when the child starts growing, you become happy. When it starts standing up and falling, you become happy. When it starts running, you become happy. When it goes to school, you become very happy. When it graduates, you become very happy. When it gets married, you become very happy. And by the way, business is a person. It's an artificial person. The blood of a business is communication. The blood of a business is cash flow. So the business can be born, it can grow, and also it can die. So like an individual. But for us, when we start business, we want it to grow very, very fast. And you cannot feed a baby a lot of food so that the baby grows very fast. Otherwise, that baby will be obese. So in a business, we need to take a step by step, but very focused and you stick to that vision of building a sustainable enterprise. So, like I mentioned, leadership, core values, that's ideology, and this one, perseverance.
So, in other words, these are the things that people do not look at while starting businesses. As long as you have your capital, you just rush. Where is space? You even employ blockers to help you look for space even before you understand the needs of the society.
There is someone I visited, is a relative. She started a restaurant within residential premises. When we were coming back, I told my wife that this restaurant will not last for 2 months. And indeed, it closed after 2 months of rent she had paid. How can you start a restaurant into business? Because you want to start a restaurant. By the way, you mentioned about people who say money through employment cannot sustain you. You need a side business. I wrote an article about it, that I hate side business. When
they actually call them side hustles.
When you in your mind, when you call it a side business, it means that it's not the main thing. And when something is not the main focus, it means that thing is useless. So to me, I don't agree with having side hustles or side business. When it is a business, it should be a business, not a side hustle. So I don't like people who teach others that you go and start a side business that will make you more money, some money. If you have to start a business, call it a business, not a side business. In your mind, what you put in your mind is what the output you'll get from that business. So even if you say after 5 p.m. I'm going to this business, it is your business. It's not a side business. Your employer I mentioned that it's also a business. After that business, you go to another business. They are all your businesses and they are mini businesses, not a side business. So if we have that mentality of side hustles, side business, there are people who finish universities or other institutions, because they have not yet gotten a job. They start some small businesses like selling ground nuts or chapati, or they do that businesses. Then later when they get a job, they abandon. So that's not a business. The business is something that you are passionate about and that you are going to build until it grows to become a world-class business that will serve others. I think that the mentality I want viewers and the members of Young and Flourishing to change. So when you are to start a business, think about how it's going to outgrow you. Yeah.
Not you outgrowing it.
Yeah, sure.
So we look at Young and Flourishing. As Young and Flourishing, we believe in starting and growing businesses to become world corporations built to last. But through your experience, because you told us you're one of the culprits, people who have started businesses and failed. You've failed out somewhere because of some reasons. But we also stand to say that you have surviving businesses that you have and that you associate with, you identify with. So what do you think, apart from the factors that we've just given that have broken businesses, that have made people lose interest in starting businesses, that someone realizes that I think I made a wrong decision to quit my job, I still needed it, so they close the business and go back and seek for the job that they had earlier resigned from. What does it take to build a sustainable business? Not only a business, not a mere business like anyone can wake up and have, but a sustainable business.
Like I mentioned before, it requires resilience, and I think every time I come here, I talk about partnerships. In Africa, we are so individualistic. We are so selfish. You know, they say that if you want to go fast, you go alone, and if you want to go far, you need to go with other people. I have already talked about a small restaurant in Nansana. How can it outgrow and outcompete Cafe Javas? If you have little capital, then get partners, get reliable partners, and you do businesses together. For example, if it's better, if I have money to buy 5 goats and you have money to buy 5 goats, if we combine, we make 10 goats and they feed together. That is already a step ahead. But people, we have very many investment clubs that people start, and later they stop paying subscription because they feel that investment club is not part of me. I need to grow. So they think that the money I've put in the investment club, it has gone to waste. So I don't pay it. I don't pay subscription today. Let me first grow my own family business. To me, partnership should be advocated in Uganda and in Africa, so that we work together. There is always magic in numbers. Just imagine like over 20 young professionals, they meet together and they sit down and they decide to start something. They will be very unstoppable if they are speaking one language. That language is, they have values, they have real values that they follow, and they agree and they focus that let's do this and it can be done. That's why I always tell you that if we mobilize over 50 million young people into one network, no one can stop us. There is no one who can stop us if those young people come together. The bank I always tell you about, it will happen. The real estate, the skyscrapers, all that will happen when very many people bring in small amount of money. It can do wonders. So partnerships is the way to go when you want to succeed and to build a sustainable business. Yeah.
Then we also look at people who have tried. Okay, how can people go through the storms? Like you earlier said that very many businesses are struggling to come back, and as you're coming back, there is a lot that that is still showing up. For example, as you're finding ways of coming back, URA is already on your door. Then there is this trading license. Then there is this, a lot of things are coming, and then very soon children are going back to school. So as you realize that the business in which you're venturing has no customers for a time when people are taking back children to school. Why? Because I think that is not needed for a particular season. So you have to also go through that and a lot. And you realize that sometimes perseverance is really hard. So how can you help someone out there to persevere through the very many storms that strike businesses?
There's one time when I preached here with you. Yes. I mentioned that whether good or bad, there's no situation that is permanent. Whether good or bad, there's no situation that is permanent. And if you know that, then you know that in this business I'm in, if I get money, that is a good situation. All the time you are not going to get money. So how do you save for eventuality, for a stable future? Then if you, for example, if you get an inflow of like 100 million, how can you invest that money so that when time comes and there are no customers, you will not close and your employees will not go without salary? So we need to always plan, because there is no permanent situation. You know that I'm going into these good times, but also I'm going to go into bad times. I'm going into bad times. If I persist and persevere, I will come out and I grow. So when you know that there is no permanent situation, then you have to plan ahead. For any business will go through that. It will go through the storms. I doubt whether there is any business, if you read through these Procter & Gamble, 3M, Samsung, if you read through our own Uganda Clays, they have gone through ups and downs, but they have they have managed to sustain themselves for all these years. So for you to start a business today and you want it to last for 100 years, you need to know that in those 100 years, the business will get sick like a human being. You can't reach 100 years when you have not fallen sick, when you have not visited a doctor. You know that in that business, they are going to in that life of a business, there are going to be people who will steal from the business. There are going to be people who will blackmail, propaganda your business. All that should be at hand, so that when the storm comes, you know that this is an inevitable. It's supposed to be there. And I think that's how the risk management specialists, like my friend Raymond Mujisha, what they do, they analyze and they know there is this risk that's going to happen. Like political risk, most people are talking about this transition. You don't know what will happen. Those are the risks that, as if you want to build a sustainable business, you need to know those risks at hand. Now, plan and prepare in advance. Like I mentioned last year, that we know that January is going to be tough. So if every time we know that January is going to be tough, why should it be tough? Plan ahead, because you know that it's going to be obvious. Not like the way Corona came and we closed and no one
Taking
knew,
us unaware.
But now that we know that those pandemics can come anytime, so if you get any revenue, as even if you have a shop in Nansana, I like Nansana. If you like a shop in Chikubo where you need to divide the profits you are getting, this profit can go here, this profit I can invest it. By the way, there is a difference between a business and an investment. A business, that's where you are getting the operations and you are engaged in. And to me, a business can only help you if you get some profit, part of the profit, maybe like 20% or 30%, and you put it in an investment. An investment, that's where you, even if you are sleeping, the money is working for you. The passive, that is what they call passive income. The money is working for you. So a business is supposed to help you go into an investment. And in that investment, when you know that you have some money that is working, even if I am not working, it means that in the future, when that business goes through the storms we are talking about, you will know that I will get some money from that investment and recapitalize my business. Then you have built a sustainable business.
Wow. I loved it when you said there is a difference between a business and an investment. Because sometimes most of us think that when you have a business, then that is your investment.
It's not. Because anytime that business, by the way, anytime that business can close. So, because the storms are inevitable, the storms could be even taxes, even political turmoil or what. Those storms are inevitable. So the business is where you get maybe monthly revenue or daily revenue, those cash flows. But an investment, you know that I'm going to get dividends, I'm going to get that passive income. Investments could be, I think this year we promised that we are going to tell our viewers different forms of investments in real estate. We are going to talk about real estate. We are going to talk about unit trust. We are going to talk about treasury bills and government bonds. All those forms of investments, venture capitalists. All those we are going to share them in this Flourishing Hub so that people will know where to invest when they receive that cash flow from their businesses.
Wow. So one thing you need to know, or one thing you should do is to stick with us. Keep it at Church of Uganda Family TV, because we have a lot for you as a young person, because we believe you should flourish. In any way, you should flourish in whatever you do. Now, Herbert, as we draw closer to this show, what is your last message to a young person who is watching us this evening?
They should not tell you that that is a side hustle. That's a side business. It's your mini business. You can have 1 or 2 businesses or 3 businesses. I don't mind. But what matters is focus and building systems, putting systems in place. So when you start a business, just know that it's not your business. Your business is not your business. There are very many people who are depending on that business. You have the government, you have the suppliers, you have the employees, you have the community around who are benefiting from your services or your products. It's no longer your business. To me, that's what has made me wake up every day and go to work. I am motivated that some people are benefiting from my business, so it's no longer my business. It is a community business. It is everyone's business. So to you, young person, there is nothing like some starting small. There's nothing like having that small mentality or mindset. If you cannot, or if you cannot walk alone, please get other people and walk with them. But as a matter of fact, I'm not motivating you, telling you that starting a business is easy. It's not as easy as we mentioned here. It requires serious perseverance. It requires vision, being visionary, and you indeed get those what they call challenges in businesses. But if you are focused and your mind is into it, then you will always succeed.
Wow, thank you so much, Herbert. We are grateful that each time you come, you show up here, all we get is wisdom. And we thank God for you.
Amen.
Because God intended to give you that wisdom, that at such a time you come and share it with us as the generation, because this is a time for us to flourish as young people. I think we've gone beyond a moment or as a generation where we accuse our forefathers for not doing things for us. It is time for us now to take up the lead, do the things, initiate what wasn't initiated, so that we will blossom. And wow, this is your one-stop center for all that you need to inspire you, to motivate you, to encourage you, but most of all, to improve your mindset as a young person, because this is a campaign of transforming Africa. You and I can transform Africa, so it is a collective effort. You should be part of Young and Flourishing Foundation. You can check out on the social media platforms. You can check out on the Twitter, on Facebook. That is Young and Flourishing Network, and you'll get a lot more information about Young and Flourishing. Adrian Austin Mukalazi is my name this evening. May the Almighty God bless you. We meet again next Monday, same time.